Hello, thank you for tuning into my eBay channel. So I've got a scam story which I think will illustrate precisely why it's important to make your purchases on eBay if you can, in terms of it being a safe marketplace. Because I've got a story to tell which I just can't believe that anybody would fall for this. So here goes. So I was walking with a friend recently on the beach. We were having a nice walk and the sun was setting. It was a beautiful view across the sea to the Isle of Arran. It was amazing. I took some photographs, but frankly, they don't do it justice. So just coming to the story. So I was walking with this friend and suddenly his phone rang and he said, "Oh, that must be the police." Well, I didn't know anything what was going on because he hadn't told me. And he said, "Excuse me a moment." So I overheard some of the conversation and I realized he'd lost some money somehow. And I'm not one to make inquiries and say, "Oh, what happened," etc., etc. But he told me the whole story. And it goes as follows. Now we're talking here about a guy who's about my age. So it just baffles me and disappoints me that people keep falling for this ridiculous scam. So he said to me that he'd bought a mobile phone a few months ago and he realized he didn't need it and he wanted to turn it into cash. So he sold it. He sold it for £380 and he sent it to the person who bought it, but he hadn't got the money. I thought, that sounds really strange to me. Give me some more details. Well, I said to him, "Where did you sell it?" I mean, that's the first question you ask. Where did you sell it? How could it be that you haven't got the money if you sent the phone out and you haven't got the money? It sounds to me like you sent it out without having the money. Why would anybody do that? He said, well, he thought he had the money. I said, well, please tell me more. So he sold it on Facebook Marketplace. Now, this is the problem with Facebook Marketplace and a lot of other outlets where you haven't got the protection of Facebook, so that if something goes wrong, you can get your money back. That's why eBay is so good, but more about that later. So he'd met this buyer who wanted his phone on Facebook Marketplace. They agreed a price. The buyer said, "I'll send you the money by PayPal, £380. Give me your email address." An email arrived saying, "This is PayPal. £380 has arrived from this particular person. Please ship the product." So the person, my friend, he shipped the product on a Friday. And not only did he send by special delivery, he paid £3 extra to make sure that it arrives on Friday. It arrives on Saturday. Well, what happened then? A few days later, he had no reason to believe that that money was not in his PayPal account. But he did need to make a purchase himself. And when he came to make a purchase, he found that there were not sufficient funds in his PayPal account. He thought, well, that's strange. What's going on? So he went to PayPal, looked in his account, and he saw he had virtually nothing there. And he thought, well, what's that £380? So he went back to look at the email that he received from PayPal, looked at it. Anyway, he called PayPal. PayPal said, "No, we've got no £380. You've got to be careful because there are a lot of fake emails, a lot of scams. There are people sending out emails pretending to be from PayPal. You can copy all the artwork and everything and make it look really convincing." And that's when it dawned on my friend that he'd been scammed. He has since been in touch with the police. He's given the address of the recipient and he's waiting to find out what happens. My guess is that it's probably an address which, when the police get there, if they bother to go there at all, they won't find anything. So it looks like he's lost his money. So how did this happen? How it happened is the person who bought that phone, or, not the person who bought the phone, but the person who was purporting to buy the phone with real money, didn't send any money at all. Just simply did some artwork, used a program that you can use to duplicate all the artwork on an email, made it look very convincing. And unfortunately, my friend did not do due diligence, didn't do proper checks as I would have done. If I received £380, well, first thing I would do is go to my PayPal account and see if it's there. And if it's not there, go back to the email, open it up and see what email address it came from. And you usually find that it's some ridiculous, long stretch of random characters at, I don't know, taiwanmail.com or something like that, something which is completely and utterly different. So he just shrugged his shoulders and he said, well, it's only money, you live and learn. Well, people work hard for their money, and obviously, you say you live and learn. It's never happened to me. It's never happened to me because I do due diligence, and I'm cautious about that kind of thing. And I realize, and I've read in the news, there's no excuses really. It's in the news all the time, people getting scammed. I'm really sort of disappointed and surprised that my friend fell for that. And it looks to me like he's lost £380, which, he's got a good salary and everything, but that's not really the point. It's not, when you're scammed, you sort of feel violated. It's not just that you've lost the money. You also feel really stupid. Or at least I imagine you would feel really stupid if you had been scammed. So, yeah, so with eBay, what would have happened had that transaction gone off on eBay? I'll tell you what would have happened. If you sell something on eBay, the downside is you lose 15% of the value of the product. So if you sell something for £100, you're going to lose £15 in fees. But in return, you've got protection. So that if you sell something, the person pays you and then something goes wrong with the payment, you won't lose. You won't lose. You've got seller protection. Yeah. So if somebody buys through PayPal, it's on eBay. It's on eBay to ensure that is a proper genuine buyer. And so, yeah, you've got seller protection as long as you send to the proper address and you send with a tracking number. Even if, for example, that was bought on a fraudulent credit card, eBay will step in and they will pay the cost and you will keep your money. So in my opinion, if you're going to sell something valuable, give up 10-15% of the price of the item to eBay, let them take the risk and sell it that way. Don't do it any other way. I know there are other websites, there's prelove.com, there's there are other various websites who've got similar protections, and that's fine. I think Amazon might have it, I'm not sure, but yeah, so please be careful. Don't do anything silly. If you get an email, where there's a financial stake, there's a financial cost to it being genuine, for goodness sake, check it out. Go to your PayPal account, make sure the money's there, 100%. Make sure it can't be clawed back. It's all cleared and everything. It's not pending. Don't rely on an email notification because there are people scamming all over the place on the internet. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back again with some more tips and advice on eBay. Bye for now.